So Jaron Boots Ennis just won his Unification Championship bout against Eimantas Stanionis this weekend, man. So what's next for the man? Is it another unification against Brian Norman Jr. or another unification against Mario Barrios on Pursuit to Undisputed? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's none of the above, and it's somebody else that you probably do not expect.
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know I'm lying.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? It's your boy Dr. Boxing Talk, back for another YouTube video banger, man. Yes sir, yes ma'am. I don't know what time it is. The doctor's in the house, man, so check this out. As you heard me in the intro saying, you know, Jaron Boots Ennis has unified the titles at 147. Well, two of the titles, right? The WBA held by Eimantas Stanionis, well, formerly held by him, and then the IBF held by Jaron Boots Ennis. And then in addition to that, he also won the Ring Magazine belt because he was ranked #1 in the Ring Magazine and Stanionis was ranked #2 in the Ring Magazine. And whenever the #1 guy, the #2 guy face off against each other in a division that has a vacant Ring Magazine title, well, that means the Ring Magazine title is up for grabs. That's exactly what it was. So now Jaron Boots Ennis went from having 1 belt to essentially 3 belts, you know, 2 part of the alphabet with the WBA and the IBF, and then the other one being the Ring Magazine belt, man. So he significantly increased his profile and his stock and his popularity, rightfully so, man. Shout out to Jaron Boots Ennis. He put on a great performance, but it leaves us, a lot of us, wondering, what's he going to do next? You know what I'm saying? What's the young champion, the young bull, the young lion, the gentleman, Jaron Boots Ennis, going to do next when it comes for, as far as his next opponent goes, right? And a lot of people are speculating the highly anticipated Brian Norman Jr., who occupies the WBO belt. You know what I'm saying? He's a champion for the WBO, or hopefully the other champion in Mario Barrios, who occupies the WBC belt, you know. And the thing in common with him is that he's also with PBC, just like Stanionis, who they fresh off of just making a cross the street, cross promotional fight with, you know what I'm saying? So this fight should, in theory, be relatively easy to facilitate, right? And same with Top Rank, right? Because, you know, Top Rank and Matchroom, or Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum, they work together quite a bit. So that fight shouldn't be too hard to come across as far as negotiating goes. You know, it should be easily brought into fruition, right?
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit.
Well, I'm here to tell you that it may not be that simple, right? Because Brian Norman, excuse me, Brian Norman is in talks to potentially fight the contender out of Japan in Jin Sasaki, right? Who challenged him after Brian Norman beat Derek Cuevas after successfully defended his title for the first time. You know, that was his first title defense. And Jin Sasaki, you know, approached him. It's like, hey man, I want a title shot, man. We could do it in Japan, or we could do it here in the US, you know. And Brian Norman has seemingly taken him up on the offer to fight in Japan, and that'd be a good fight to raise his profile, you know what I'm saying? But if he does that, then obviously he wouldn't be fighting Boots next, right? And then Mario Barrios, it's been rumored that he could be fighting the legendary Manny Pacquiao or the future Hall of Famer in Errol Spence, which is shocking us all, right? These are the rumors according to Mario Barrios' trainer, Bob Santos. This is what he said. So Mario Barrios has some options on the table that don't involve any of the other champions, Brian Norman or Jaron Boots Ennis. So it seems like that could be off the table as well. So both of the fights that are unifications that represent opportunities for Jaron Boots Ennis to pursue Undisputed seem like they're in jeopardy of happening next, right?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
But I'm here to tell you that there is still another intriguing fight with somebody else that you've seen before, and you may not be too familiar with him, but you have seen him before if you watch the entire card this weekend, and that is Shakram Giyashov. This is the fight that I think is most likely going to come into fruition, and I've been saying this for a while, you know, and this is because Shakram Giyashov, as I told you, was a very essential, important, imperative piece in order for Stanionis and Barrios to have their unification fight. In the meantime, you'd be like, why you say that, Doc? Why is he important? What he has to do with everything? What does he have to do with anything? Well, he was the WBA mandatory for Stanionis. So Shakram Giyashov was supposed to get his opportunity to fight in the title because he deserved it through the ranking. He was ranked #1. And he was going to fight Stanionis, and Stanionis was going to have to, you know, satisfy the criteria for him to keep the WBA belt and fight his mandatory that he was ordered to fight, right? But because Shakram Giyashov is with Matchroom, and because Shakram Giyashov was willing to step aside, you know, this fight between Boots and Stanionis was able to be made. However, now that that fight is over with, we knew that Shakram Giyashov wanted to get the winner of this fight, whether it was Boots or Stanionis, and it just so happened to be Boots Ennis. And Eddie Hearn even acknowledged it. He acknowledged this himself, right? So what it seems like the obvious next move is the fact that Jaron Boots Ennis inherited the WBA mandatory from beating Stanionis. It seems like the next contender for, or the next challenger for Boots, is Shakram Giyasov. And I know a lot of people will be disappointed in this as far as a name goes because he doesn't have a high profile. But Shakram Giyasov is a well-deserving fighter. I already told you that he's was the mandatory for the WBA, but he's also undefeated, and he's a good fighter out of where's he from again? Uzbekistan, right? He's from Uzbekistan, same place as MJ Akhmadaliev and stuff. So he's a good fighter, man. Do I think that he beats Boots? I don't think so. Do I think that he beats Brian Norman or Barrios? I don't really think he beats either of those two either, but I think it's a good fight. Hell, I don't even think he would have beat Stanionis, but that's no knock on him. You know, I don't think it's any shame for me to feel like he loses to the champions, but I don't think he gets blown out either. I think it's a good fight with all of them, but I do think Boots is the worst matchup for him stylistically. And I think that fight could happen next, unless Shakram Giyasov decides not to fight Boots and maybe take some more step aside money in order to allow Boots go pursue some more intriguing fights as far as unifications, or even a more lucrative fight with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That's a possibility as well. And it's not unheard of for fighters to take step aside money multiple times, you know, consecutively, but it is really rare. I'm not gonna say really rare, but it's a rare occurrence. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen all the time, but I fully believe Shakram Giyasov when he said he wants a title opportunity, and he is with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. So I think that fight could potentially happen next for Jaron Boots Ennis, man. I think that's a good fight, and I think Jaron Boots Ennis beats him as well. But shout out to Shakram Giyasov because he definitely deserves his opportunity, and rest in peace to his daughter because he just lost his daughter a month ago. I remember it was around the same time that I lost my grandmother, man. So big salute to Shakram Giyasov, especially for even still having the fight this past weekend, man. That's some gangster stuff right there, man. So shout out to him. So don't be surprised if we can get if we see Jaron Boots Ennis versus Shakram Giyasov as Jaron Boots Ennis' next title defenses, you know what I'm saying, because he has multiple titles. So I'm just letting you know that right now. I'm letting you know again, because I said this multiple times, you know what I'm saying? But don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.